Lyrically Speaking by Stuart DeBrill. Bruce was slowly sinking into madness as the 70s decade was coming to a close. His disc jockey job at a top 10 rock and roll radio station in New York City was great, but his lifestyle was killing him. He was on the air from 10 to midnight each night, and then it was party time, with all the booze, drugs, sex, and rock and roll he could handle, until well into the day when he collapsed from exhaustion. On a good day, he got 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and then it was time to prepare for his radio show again. The station manager noticed his slow deterioration and told him, "Take some time off, get out of the city, and get yourself straight." Bruce agreed and said, "I'm leaving on a jet plane, don't know when I'll be back again." He booked a round-trip flight from JFK to LAX. He didn't plan to be in LA long, just long enough to visit an old friend of his in Santa Monica for a few days. Then he would rent a car and drive up north along the Pacific Coast Highway to see the sights. He was met at the airport by his longtime friend, Stan, who had moved to the West Coast about 10 years earlier, after the two had graduated from high school in New York. It was good to see someone from the old neighborhood. He remembered his carefree life, growing up in the suburbs. "Hey, buddy, good to see you," Stan said. "Was this just a spur-of-the-moment vacation?" "Sort of. I was told to leave and get myself straight," Bruce replied. "I can't seem to face up to the facts. I'm tense and nervous, and I can't relax. I can't sleep because my bed's on fire. Don't touch me, I'm a real live wire." "Hey, chill, man. You're not going to go all psycho on me, are you, Bruce?" "No, I'm not a psycho killer. Not yet, anyway," he laughed. "Don't worry," said Stan. "I've planned a nice evening for us. We can eat at Buffalo Chip's restaurant and then go next door to the Orr House Bar for drinks and a crazy atmosphere." "I don't know about that. I'm supposed to be staying away from the partying." "It will be real low-keyed. You're on the West Coast now, Bruce. Relax." At the Orr House, Bruce and Stan downed one beer after another and talked about old times. After they were more than a little bit tipsy, they made their way to one of the other bars where 2 women were talking. Bruce approached one of the ladies and said, one of these crazy old nights, we're going to find out, pretty mama, what turns on the lights. The full moon is calling, and the fever is high, and the wicked wind whispers and moans. You got your demons, you got desires, well, I got a few of my own." For a second, it looked like the girl was going to douse Bruce with what was left in her beer glass. But instead she said, "You're not worth it." And she walked away. Stan was laughing, and he asked Bruce, "Why did you say that?" I don't know. It just came out," Bruce said, somewhat bewildered. The next day, Stan asked Bruce, "So how are you traveling up north? I hope I can get up there sometime." Bruce replied, "Ventura Highway, in the sunshine, where the days are longer and the nights are stronger than moonshine. You're gonna go, I know." Bruce rented a car and headed up the Pacific Coast Highway. To his left, he saw the cliffs that went down to hundreds, if not thousands, of tiny sandy beaches that dot the coastline, caressed by the waves of the great Pacific Ocean. With the windows open, he cranked up the radio and sang all the great songs of the summer. He picked up hitchhikers along the way for company, but he tried not to talk too much so he wouldn't embarrass himself. He stopped at several pull-offs and took some photos. The fresh-smelling sea breeze filled his lungs with healing Pacific Coast air. When the fog rolled in, it was hard to see the ocean, but it didn't matter. It was all part of this amazing land and seascape, unlike anything he had seen before. He felt his East Coast anxieties dissipate, leave his body, and flow down the cliffs, where they got washed out to sea. After a couple of days, he was ready to head back to Santa Monica. On the way back, he pulled over to pick up one last hitchhiker. She got in and said, "Hi, I'm Janice. You got a name?" He couldn't help himself. "Like the pine trees lining the winding road, I got a name. I got a name. Like the singing bird and the croaking toad, I got a name. I got a name. Like the fool I am and I'll always be, I've got a dream. I've got a dream. Oh, I know I could share it if you want me to. If you're going my way, I'll go with you. Moving me down the highway, rolling me down the highway, moving ahead so life won't pass me by. Janice replied, dream on, dream on, dream until your dreams come true. Bruce continued, I want to live, I want to give. I've been a miner for a heart of gold. It's these expressions I never give that keep me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old. Janice was sympathetic. Lean on me. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Bruce countered with, I want you to want me. I need you to need me. I'd love you to love me. I'm begging you to beg me. Janice finally gave in. Take it. Take another little piece of my heart now, baby. Oh, break it. Break another little bit of my heart now, darling. Yeah. Have another little piece of my heart now, baby. You know you got it, child, if it makes you feel good. Bruce could only smile. Works cited in this piece: Choir, Leaving on a Jet Plane by John Denver, from the Rhymes and Reason album. RCA Records, 1960. Psycho Killer with Talking Heads. Talking Heads, 77 album. Desire, 1977. Eagles, One of These Nights, from One of These Nights. Asylum, 1975. Ventura Highway, America, from the Coming Home album. Warner Brothers, 1972. I Got a Name, Jim Croce. I Got a Name out. ABC, 1973. Dream On, Aerosmith. Aerosmith out. Columbia, 1973. Heart of Gold, Neil Young, from Harvest. Reprise, 1972. Lean on Me, from Bill Withers. Still Bill, Sussex, 1972. I Want You to Want Me, Cheap Trick, from In Color. Epic, 1977. Piece of My Heart, Janis Joplin. Cheap Thrills, Columbia, 1968.